And action.
Hi, this is Tom Bryan here. I'd just like to talk to one of the speakers here today at Speakers Corner. What's your name, sir?
Patrick.
Hi, Patrick. I've met you before, I think, down here. And what's your area of expertise?
Well, we're talking about our Christian faith, the scientific, historical facts concerning our Christian belief.
Okay, and of what kind of scientific theories that are you interested in with respect to the Christian faith?
Well, it's not a theory. The historical fact is that God came to this world. We have a historical, scientific record of this event. We have the preparation for the coming, the antecedent of what his life would be and do, and the outcome of that, which is the Christian church. So this is history, science and fact.
Okay, so when you say you have scientific evidence, what's the scientific evidence?
Well, the scientific evidence is you can go to the place where he was born, Bethlehem. You can review his life having lived in Nazareth. You can also know the people amongst whom he grew up, which are the Jewish people. And you can meet the people now who profess faith in him, the Christians who, again, in the history of Western Europe, built great buildings to commemorate his being God in the earth. And these are called churches or cathedrals or whatever.
So now, to most scientists, I don't know if that would actually form what would be called scientific evidence.
Well, having studied Latin, the word sciens, knowing knowledge, or scientia, knowledge, informs that science is not done by people in white coats in a laboratory. It is informed understanding based on an impeccable source, and that impeccable source is God.
Okay, well, so the derivation of a word does not really imply its meaning in all cases. For example, a car comes from the word carriage, from a horse and carriage. Yes. So it would be incorrect to say that, for example, cars have horses. Would you agree with that?
Well, okay, in terms of application, the idea that evolution is a scientific theory is nullified by the fact that you cannot repeat any experiment to do with evolution. So people misapply the terminology and think that just because people have hijacked the meaning of the words, it still applies. No, it gets back to the root understanding of the word science. It means knowledge. And ultimately, without God, we do not have knowledge, we have aggregated ignorance. So Jesus Christ, God came to this world to give us knowledge, the knowledge of God as to his purpose for human beings and for the universe that he created.
Now, there's huge historical evidence going throughout science, many peer-reviewed papers, evidence showing evolution in progress. How do you combat that as a Christian?
There is no evidence for evolution functionally, factually or scientifically. So let's take an example. What did the giraffe evolve from?
Well, the giraffe formed from the Alexis deptatus.
Oh, really? You just made that up. So, again, when you look at the fossil record, there are no intermediates, there are no transitionals. So, again, when it comes to the idea that this supposed speculation about science is non-repeatable, non-historical, there is no data, the people generally have an idea that it's pure propaganda based on nothing that's rational, sensible or proven.
So there's evidence here today in London in the last number of years the emergence of a new species of mosquito in the underground that's actually speciated from the normal above ground mosquito since the beginning of the war. How do you explain that?
Adaptive variation, yes, we know that is true, but when it comes to natural selection, there's no such thing. In terms of selection as regards the species, the biological species in the earth, they have been adapted and variated according to an intelligent purpose and intelligent plan.
So this brand of a mosquito, which is speciated, now speciated is a technical term, means that it can't breed with what it evolved from. So that is essentially a new species. So are you saying that in this instance that God came down and created this new type of species, or are you saying that, like, because what you were saying earlier about the small adaptive process, that doesn't apply when it speciates?
Well, adapted variation is part of the way that all biological forms interconnect, interact and reproduce.
So could you explain for the audience here what you mean by adaptive process?
Well, when it comes to human beings, there is no connection between any form of human and any other form of monkey, primate or...
What about Homo erectus?
Homo erectus, homo Latin word means man, so means the man who walks upright. Homo erectus. So the issue of...
Same species?
Well, homo, hominids, they're all part of...
So Homo sapien is a different species than Homo erectus?
No, homo, again, man, sapiens, why? So again, there are forms of man.
How about Homo australopithecus?
Again, homo, another Latin, yes, homo, man.
And Homo floresiensis?
Yeah, Homo, man. They're all types of man.
The homos refers to the genus, not the species.
Oh, genus is of species.
No, genus is technically from the branch that when they deviated from. So there's lots of dogs, or for example, cats. Like a lion and certain cats can't breed, even though they come from the feline genus.
When it comes to the classification of hominids, Homo, we, man, are not related to monkeys or apes or other kinds of primates. That's why we call hominids. Neanderthals is another point, because the Neanderthals now, they've again changed the evaluation of Neanderthals to say they were more sophisticated than what we previously assumed, but they are still classified as men. So if we could...
Why have Africans, if they're classified as men, why have only non-Africans got Neanderthal blood in them, and sub-Saharan Africans don't have any?
Well, that's something you're introduced into the debate, so yeah. I can't answer that question. But what I do know is that when it comes to us as human beings, I'm a black man, you're a white man, we are human and we can interbreed, interact as human beings. Any classification apart from that, we cannot and we don't, and we haven't. That's why there is a missing link that's still missing, and they have made no scientific relationship between hominids and any other form of creature.
Homo erectus breed or Homo sapien?
Well, yes. Because
is this scientific? Is this like from scientific research, or is this from your just an opinion?
And this is a functional fact. So
this is based on the genus.
Human beings breed with humans. If you're not human, you can't, and you're not supposed to try and breed with monkeys or primates or gorillas. If you are doing that, I'll report you.
So most scientists would say that there is no evidence for the ability to breed, say, for example, between Homo floresiensis and a normal human.
Aside from the fact they weren't extinct at the same time.
Well,
yeah, so there's no evidence for this. So I'm just wondering, is it just based on the genus Homo that you're making this kind of what most scientists would say an extraordinary assumption?
No, this is an assumption.
Can you say the word extraordinary again?
An extraordinary assumption.
Back to the terminology. Homo means man. So men, humans, have related to and bred and reaped with humans. They haven't managed to and still cannot interbreed with any other form of creature. So once you stick to that, you'll be perfectly safe in your understanding.
What would you do? How would you feel if there was a hybrid between a human and a chimp?
Well, there is no such thing. How would I feel?
Or what? I have a question for you. What about vampires? Where do you say that they come from?
Vampires are just creatures that are speculative and you see in films and spooky films. Scary. They don't exist in reality.
But Homo vampirus?
Stick to reality. There's no such thing as Homo vampirus. I'm glad.
Witches?
What about witches? Witches are part of our...
Witches?
No, of course not.
Believe they exist?
I'm sure they do, but I don't have any data to inform anybody about in that particular...
Can they do magic?
Whether they can is not pertinent to what we're discussing now. The issue is human beings, where we come from, why we're the way we are, and why, according to Darwinian ideas, can we not interact, interbreed with other forms of biological... We cannot. So Darwin's ideas are wrong. The science and the history about that suggestion of evolution is wrong, and there is no justification for people to believe in it. It's irrational.
Patrick, if I just wind up our little interview here today, thanks very much. And if there's one thing you'd like to say for posterity, what would it be?
Well, God created us according to His divine purposes.
So that's one thing. Yeah, only one thing. Okay, thanks very much, Patrick.
Right, yeah,
Thank
God
you.
I know you've got a target-rich environment.
Absolutely.